Hello Aquarius, welcome back to Spirit Source Tarot. Welcome to your May monthly reading. Thank you all so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Please continue to do so and help this channel grow. My readings are direct and sometimes triggering. So in that event, I usually put some sort of warning, signal, emoji in the description box. Speaking of description, please feel free to share the message with anyone who you feel like could benefit from it, because we all know people that are going through similar things, and sometimes our spirits could be intertwined for that need of support energetically. So please feel free to do that, as well as swap the energies. You know, sometimes the reading is what it is, and you may notice yourself in one aspect of it. What I do as a reader is I definitely feel the emotion, and I sort of see the storyline completely unfold with the emotion. So on occasion I will hear things which are super scary, by the way, but most of the time it's really 100% of an emotion, as well as visually seeing it unfold. So on that note, Aquarius, let's get your cards pulled, dear. First card for Aquarius. First card is the World in Reverse. Well, looky here. The World in Reverse. Aquarius, we're always starting out with something dramatic, aren't we? We are always starting out with something dramatic. I look forward to Aquarius readings. I really do. Second card for Aquarius. Had to check my deck and make sure that the whole thing wasn't upside down, but it certainly was. Second card for Aquarius. It has to come out my hands right, folks. You know this. Three of Wands. Third card for Aquarius. Four of Pentacles. We just had these, not in the same place, but that combination with Cancer. Interesting. And your fourth card, dear. Justice. Well, something's coming to, and it feels, and I really wanted to say screeching halt with this World in Reverse. This could have been like a time spent in some sort of litigation, a time spent with, there seems to be a lot of sort of endings, realizations towards, that contribute towards endings in May, which endings mean new beginnings as well. But there seems to be some time spent in this circumstance, whether it's litigation, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a partnership. There's been a significant amount of time spent here. And the expectation, the understanding was that it was going to be a forever thing, and it is not. And it is not. So this ending of this cycle is, it's not the beginning of a new cycle with this person. This ending of what we thought was going to be growing old together, riding off into the sunset, is not going to be the case. We're going to find out here if it's due to any sort of illness as well. That could be an explanation for the World card here, especially being in reverse. Okay. The World card in reverse also stands for holding on to attachments from the past. which we had kind of just explained, where perhaps it was a circumstance of happily ever after, supposed to be happily ever after. And maybe we were holding on to hope that it would rectify itself. Some people will hold out for hope to where it's just unhealthy. So we have here 2, 3 straight indicators of somebody that was holding on, and smack dab in the middle is with some sort of expectation, staying steadfast, and when it's a positive sense to ships coming in, but in this case it's holding on with hopes that perhaps things will get back to normal, the security will come back in this relationship, things might change. And some people will hold out and stick it out, and we're all guilty of this sometimes, for too long in a circumstance, in a situation that we should have been left. So let's clarify further for Aquarius. Let's see what's going on here, Aquarius. Clarifying the World card, and don't forget, this is your May monthly reading, so we are going to be dissecting the weeks as they go by with our weekly readings. Clarifying the World card for Aquarius. Oh, this really wants to come out. So we'll take it as well. I'm still going to keep clarifying, but the Queen of Pentacles wants to come out. So somebody was building a home. Somebody was nurturing. Somebody was trying their best to be a provider, a good homemaker, a good partner. Was trying to show up in the relationship. And with hopes that the more they do, or with hopes that the display of caretaking and responsibility and growth would encourage this person, the other half of this scenario, would encourage them to stay, to straighten up, to stick it out. Let's keep pulling that first card for Aquarius, that first clarification. Seems like this person was doing everything right, but like, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And sometimes, and it's easier said than to be experienced. We know this. That's why we support. Easier said than to go through it. To go through it is painful. But this person wanted to show how worthy they are as a partner, how valuable they are, what they bring to the table as a partner. Maybe feeling like everything that I did for this relationship, maybe feeling like all of the effort and energy and investment that I put into this relationship. Somebody could be stuck in the past due to that. A Knight of Swords. So there's a lot of thinking about what this person has invested for the month of May. It does not feel like a woe is me. I paused for a second, just trying to get that emotion, search it to see if this person is having a pity party, and they're not having a pity party. it doesn't feel like regret. It feels like disbelief that no matter what I did, no matter what I brought to the table, no matter how successful I tried to be, how put together I tried to be, it was never good enough. So for the month of May, there's going to be a lot of that in this person's mind, evidenced here by the Knight of Swords. A lot of those thoughts, things that they might have forgot they contributed. I helped them through higher education. I sacrificed, and when I first met them, they didn't have anything, and everything they have is because of my planning and diligent work. Those types of thoughts. It's not really a pity party, but it is sort of holding on to the fact that they feel like they put in so much. And I can't tell that they're asking for anything or whatever. It just feels like mental thoughts, racing thoughts. This is how they feel about this time spent with this person. Slightly taken advantage of, slightly like they've wasted their time or a large portion of time. Clarifying the Three of Wands for Aquarius. And that's clarified by the Page of Cups. It is time to move on. It is time to move on, and maybe that they're realizing it now. The Page of Cups is apologetic as well. It's a baby step in the right direction. But the Page of Cups being a bit of an emotion, here comes some disappointment. Here comes a bit of a pity party. Now what do I do? How can I avoid this from happening again? What's the plans now? Do I go into the future alone? There's a bit of a sad outlook, a lonelier expectation. But there is also here a clear message from Spirit to forgive yourself, that you still have, and there still is, an exciting future ahead. To still have expectation for all of your hard work, for all of the wonderful attributes that you have to offer, that you bring to the table, that make you magnificent. Everybody has those learning lessons, those people that come into our lives, and we're never good enough, no matter how amazing we actually are. Right here, we're seeing the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful, intelligent, capable of building, probably having their own business, highly intelligent. But the month of May, we have some overthinking here. Clarifying the Four of Pentacles for Aquarius. We definitely have some overthinking here. It does seem to quiet down a bit. It does seem to turn into, you know what, it happened, let me pull myself back up. Because the Queen of Pentacles is not a frivolous, silly-minded person. They do have the ability to course correct. They do have the ability to think practically and logically. So there does seem to be some course correction happening here, some forgiveness coming out of this logic. Clarifying the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is clarified by the 8 of Wands. So here we could have some communication. These people may be divorcing. Here we're having communication about these assets, about what we have built, about maybe what somebody thinks that they are owed. There seems to be paperwork and other methods of communication. Emails, letters, contracts, phone calls. This could be lawyer to lawyer. This could be triggered by this person coming in and making the contact. Like, after everything that I did, here their greedy ass wants more. Here their greedy ass thinks that they deserve alimony, palimony, whatever the hell. Division of assets, more assets than what they had when they came into this union. This is triggered by some communication here. Somebody will also contemplate whether or not it is worth just settling to move on, to close this chapter. Is it worth settling? Giving this person what they're asking for just to have a future outlook without them in it. Let's clarify further the Justice card. There is some sort of communication coming, though, about what they've built, about this securities here in the Four of Pentacles. And they built it because the 8 of Wands is connected to the 3 of Wands there. They built it with the expectation of being together, expectation of growing old together, life partner. And now there's communication about it. The Pentacles with this Queen of Pentacles, what they have amassed, or some sort of upkeep. Clarifying the Justice card. Justice is clarified by Justice again. So this is a court case. This is communication through lawyers. And it doesn't matter if it's a lawyer communicating. It is going to trigger some, are you freaking kidding me? So after everything, the disappointment of the plans not working out, now you want me to pay you monthly to do what? Justice is clarified by Justice. This communication is through the courts, is through lawyers. This is trying to potentially get to a place of hammering out something that is amicable. Something where both parties can agree to and put an end to this. But it makes this person feel like, over here in the Queen of Pentacles, like it's never enough. I wasn't enough when we were together. Wasn't enough to stay in the relationship for and work things through. But my ability to bring in tangible assets and income that you want. Clarifying the world in reverse further, right next to the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. And this happens. This happens all the freaking time. Sometimes you can be with somebody forever and they never seem to have anything positive to say about you, but yet you hear them complimenting and admiring others, strangers, for their hard work and talents and this and that, but yet you blow everybody out of the water and they cannot part their lips to say anything encouraging, supportive, nice, whatever. It's like that sometimes. It's hurtful, but it's a lesson. Clarifying the world in reverse. Thank you, Spirit. The Emperor. So this could be that person that we just spoke of who cannot part their lips to say anything kind. But this could also be their lawyer making this communication, initiating this communication, or them through their lawyer initiating this communication. I feel like this is representing the person, the other half of this person, and this couple, and also sort of like explaining why it was so difficult for them to admire or share any sort of adulation towards this Queen of Pentacles. Almost like an ego trip. That this Queen of Pentacles inspired jealousy in this Emperor. But the communication is coming from, the source is the Emperor, but through their lawyer. Clarifying the Three of Wands right next to the Page of Cups. And this Temperance is all over the place. Here we are with the forgiveness. Here we are with what we said about, you know what, should I just settle and be done with this? Otherwise, this is going to drag on even further into the future. You know what? There's no need for me to beat myself up about this because people make mistakes. And why shouldn't I have gone into this with forever in mind? Of course I should have gotten with forever in mind. That's what that's what all of partnerships, marriages should be about. Oh, I'm going into this marriage for 2 years. No, it doesn't happen like that. I love you. Can't see myself without you. Want to be with you forever. That's usually the sentiment, the feeling when one goes into something like that. But there's a need to heal. There's a need to heal the outlook of the future. This Queen of Pentacles is ready to just leave this behind. Forgive them, forgive ourselves, and leave it behind. You know, and start the healing process. Clarifying the Four of Pentacles right next to the Eight of Wands. And that's clarified by the Five of Swords. This communication is coming from lawyers. This communication is to divide assets. It's strategic. It's a strategic division of assets. It is contractual and designed to represent one half, each halves, to represent each side, to come out in a satisfactory way. But this is clearly the division of what was built together. Let's clarify the Justice card further. I don't know how much Spirit will really show me into this, but we can see clearly that this is two sides of this court. We can clearly see here that the communication here is legal and it is strategic communication. Each lawyer is representing their partner in the best interest of their partner. Clarifying the Justice card right next to the Justice card. Nine of Wands. So, not that there's going to be a terrible outcome. It's just been a long time. Now, Nine of Wands is the wounded soldier. It's just been a while that this has been going on. This is a tough process. We're nearing the end of it. So it's not really a joyous occasion here. We are nearing the end of it, and the Wands have it in common. Here we are at a chance, at a time where we can potentially come to an agreement. But because this Five of Swords is here with the Nine of Wands, and we are talking about the contracts in the Eight of Wands, I want to just pull a card. We'll see if Spirit will show us. This is going to be a touchy one down here. So I want to pull a card and see if Spirit will show us. Like, let's just make sure that the Nine of Wands energy is not our Queen of Pentacles over here, because it seems like this Queen of Pentacles person has done everything throughout the course of this relationship as right as possible, you know, with a earnest expectation of future stability and emotional health of the relationship in mind. So let's pull a couple cards here. What is this Nine of Wands signifying? Is it just the weary end of this process, or is somebody going to not get the outcome that they want, or feel like they've been railroaded a bit or taken advantage of? Let's see. Which essentially is not the outcome anyway. Let's see what Spirit will share, Aquarius. Coming towards the end of this. As we stated, it could be just that realization. It's a long process being finalized. This is definitely a finalization here. It's been quite some time. It's been quite some time. And this person, you know, it's never going to be fair and equitable. There's always going to be one person with more that has to balance things out with the person that has less. There's, you know, you're not going to come out 50-50. Even if it looks like that on paper, like somebody's going to have to make a compromise somewhere. And this Queen of Pentacles, I believe the stability was hers. I feel like the Emperor, the Queen of Pentacles, helped the Emperor get to where they are. Hold on, I have somebody coming. So, yeah, as stated, this is the end. This is the division of what was built, somebody's hard-earned money. And as I was stating, I do believe that it was this Queen of Pentacles here who created, who helped this Emperor get to who this, the status, who this person ended up being in the world. And I feel like this Emperor has an entitled sort of win at all cost mentality as well. So yeah, it's never going to be a 50-50 split. Somebody is going to always feel like they put in more than the other person. But for the future's sake, for forgiveness' sake, for healing's sake, there is going to be a resolution and an ending to this. And I think here we have the Queen of Pentacles again, displaying maturity and doing what's best for themselves into the future. All right, Aquarius, we all know people that are going through this, that have been through this. Separation, divorce, legal issues are just tough. And then finally being able to let go of a long out, drawn out process. And sometimes when you have more assets to divide, you can expect that there'll be a little bit more hammering out and time taken behind the scenes to come to an agreement through lawyers, through courts, through contracts and documents of that nature. So I look forward to the end of this for you, and definitely looking forward to healing, forgiveness, and a brighter future. All right, Aquarius, thank you so much for letting me share. I'll see you later.